Hello, Gunpla fans. It's Speedball Harlow, and today for you guys, instead of a mobile suit for you guys, I got for you the mobile armor. And before you say it, Mobius Zero, not Morbius Zero. Yes, many people kept loving to tell me that one. But yes, today I have for you guys from the Gundam Seed anime, the Mobius Zero, brought to you by Mula Flaga's favorite mobile armor. But yes, this is that said mobile armor in Master Grade scale, as you can see with my Master Grade Strike Gundam right here. And it is a very cool looking kit because if you guys might have remembered, I believe it was over a year ago when third party brand mentioned they were doing their own Mobius here. And yes, that is this one here, which surprised us when it finally, came out of nowhere with full pictures, description, and etc. Though I must mention the brand, though, was the surprising part. No one knew the brand offhand because it was like some random one, but in the end, it wasn't. It was Motor King. Yeah, I am. You guys might remember that brand from other third-party releases, like the RX Petite Guy, the Zaku Tank. Ooh, there was a few others. I just don't remember them offhand. It's been a while, and that's exactly my point. It's been a while since we've seen them, so I was surprised that they, suddenly released this, which is really cool. I've always wanted to get the Master Grade style Mobius because there was another brand, SPL, that had released one, which is really cool. And after, of course, building and doing some double checking, I can now confirm that is exactly what this one is based on. It is their SPL design, just, well, reprinted and re-released under a new brand. So that was the interesting part. Though I must now mention, if you guys have been on Gundam Model Center, where of course that's where I got this one from, it is mentioned in their description that, yeah, it does require some glue, as it states. And after building this, I can confirm it is. I would recommend having some glue. Now, yes, that's usually not a good sign for a kit, but I'll explain it, because you might think, oh man, this thing's gonna fall apart if I don't put it. Well, luckily, I can tell you, no, it's not that bad actually. Most of the kit you can build without glue, really. There are certain sections and parts that I would recommend it for, just in case. But the bigger thing you need to do with this kit is not gluing, but modifying. Now, what I mean by that is, from what I was experiencing with it, there was like sections of parts that seemed to work fine, but then there were other parts that wouldn't fit properly without, modifying the part, either the port, the peg, etc., to make sure it would properly fit together. Because I can give you one example right now. Let's see, where's my handy sanding tool? There we go. Right here with the nose cone right here, it's really nice. It fits pretty well. There's a minor seam line right there, of course, but what I'm getting at is this. The top part was fine here. It was the bottom part here I had some issues with because of the molding. There was some excess molding inside of it where it would connect, and no matter how many times I sandwiched the parts together, it wouldn't properly fit. It would literally be like sticking halfway out. I'd be like that. I'd be like, ah, oh, man. So of course, after a little time of sanding it, cleaning it out and such, it comes together pretty fine. And the same with other parts too. Another section I can give you would be like here on the pod parts here. The doors, they work fine with no problem. In the clips that they're attached to, they connect with no problem. But it's when you open the door on them is what the issue was. No matter how many times I did it, they would not open all the way. They opened enough to, of course, put the gun parts on, but they would be like half, it would be like cockeyed because it'd be sort of like that. It wouldn't be flushed. So yeah, I did take a little time to sand these sections right here, so this way when the doors open, they would fully open properly, so it would look accurate. Because if not, it would be like I told you. Other than that, most of the parts do connect together, like I said, without, just some minor modding here and there for certain parts. And for gluing reasons, mostly you need it for like the smaller parts. If I can get it on camera because of how small they are. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it in here. Shine a little light so you guys can see it better. Hopefully would be, let me see if I can show you right here. These little fin parts that connect to the body, yes, I highly recommend using a cement or a glue for those because they do connect in without it, but the problem is you can knock them off like insanely quick and easy. I've done it that many times now. So yes, I did use a little glue for the base and for the fin parts and such like that to keep them together. And they're not the only ones either. Like this one I've had no problems with, but when I turn this around, right around like these ones here, on the pods, a lot of times, yeah, they're the same thing. I can knock them out pretty well, so a little glue there wouldn't hurt. So yeah. And this vernier right here, this one, it'll stay on, but I've knocked it off a few times just by bumping it. So yeah, it stays on, but it just needs a little tightening. But other than that, pretty much other than modifying pegs and such just to make them fit smoothly, pretty much the kit can come together pretty well. I mean, other than that, yeah, I've had no real issues with it. And I really do like the design of it because it's like I said, it's a mobile armor, and I know a lot of people would probably like to see more, but we don't get as many. And this one, of course, being a seed-based one, is a fan favorite, of course. So yeah, but a lot of fun there. Another detail to mention that I know a lot of fans would want to know for the kit, the pods. You're probably wondering, how do you separate them to display them, for the separation function? Well, technically you don't in this case. And what I mean is that the way the pods are designed, they connect into the whole body here. So they do have articulation, but they actually don't separate. Now, that's not saying you can't, though, of course. You can, of course, just remove the pegs out, just disconnect them from the body, and just use separate stands to, of course, play the function. But it doesn't come with any wires or anything, to really mimic it. You would have to do that part yourself, just a heads up. So, yeah. But other than that, really, I didn't have any much problems with the kit. Easy to put together after all the cleanup and such. No stickers required, so yeah, all good there. Just minor detailing like here, the yellow, and these little gray parts right here. Yeah, you do need to paint those if you want it accurate. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty easy to do and such. Now, the biggest gimmick that this has is the master grade link up. And I'll show you in the manual what I'm talking about real quick. Right here specifically, as you can see right here, it's supposed to disconnect and reformat, so this way you're supposed to be able to attach it to, of course, seed-based master grade backs, which I must now mention as well, sadly. The peg backpacks connector here is not big enough, so to speak. It's long enough, just like any other one, but it's just not thick enough, so to speak. I've already tried it with the strike here, and yeah, it just would not stay in. It doesn't stay in because it's not thick enough to grip the peg, well, the poly cap on the inside, so it's just going to keep sliding out. Now, of course, the benefit of this kit is that it does have an adapter to the stand right there, if you can see it, I'm hoping, that you can, of course, keep attached, and all you would do is just disassemble and attach and just leave it on the stand. So you could do it that way, so there's an option. In fact, so you guys can see it, give me 1 second. And there you have it, and there it is, guys, see? You can, of course, attach it to seat kits like I mentioned, but without a stand support like I have here, it's not going to attach well. I mean, I know there's means to, of course, fix this kind of problem, but for right now, like I said, it does seem to need some support in order to properly keep it in place, which is a minor bummer because I had hoped this would just attach with no big issue, but it still looks pretty cool. I do still like it no matter what. I mean, I've had worser builds, worser third parties, though. I mean, this one definitely I still love it because it is still seed, and of course the Mobius Zero setup. It really is a cool setup. Let's see. Now, of course, this kit comes with more than just the armor itself, which is something I really like. As you saw earlier on the strike, it comes with a set of armaments that are really fun to play with. One example is this big sucker. I didn't even realize what this was until I looked a little further into it because, give me 1 sec, once I rip it in half, literally in this case, without, of course, taking certain parts off, you get a separate handheld gun and a shoulder type bazooka. Now, separately, honestly, this one seems a bit too big to, for my opinion, but it's still cool. It's not bad. And then you got the bazooka here, which is really nice, minus the fact that it only has one handle to attach to. And trust me, I've had fun trying to get it to attach properly. But when you have them together, however, as you guys just saw, like such. Oh, make sure that's all in. Yeah. So always those little ones I keep forgetting. But like I said, their biggest gimmick, though, is when you combine them. And I didn't even realize this detail until I happened to look up the old SPL kit, because it shows it in their manual that these two are supposed to be pretty much like this. And this honestly looks a lot better because, of course, you attach it onto the shoulder and you put it in the hand, and there you go. Though I have to admit, though, unless it's just my strikes hands, doesn't want to hold it too well. I mean, it's a challenge to fit it in there, guys. I'm probably, though, might have to just get new hands for my strike, though, for this. That could just be the case as well. Just a minor heads up for that one. And yes, just like the Mobius, a little glue for certain parts couldn't hurt for here. Especially this gun. This was the one gun I would recommend a little glue on for certain parts. Like, for instance, as you can see, this handle likes to keep doing that no matter what I do. So yeah, a little couldn't hurt on this one. So yeah. Let's see what else. It has this really cool gun right here, though. I really like it. It matches the strike perfectly. I do like that part a lot. And it does fit pretty well, though a little sanding on the handle couldn't hurt it a little. Let's see. And it has a really cool beam axe, which, give me 1 second. So I take that off. And here, while I'm right here, you guys can see it for yourself in the transformed, ready to combine mode. And this is, of course, the backpack pig I'm talking about before. You know, it looks normal, it looks correct, but like I said, it just doesn't want to peg in right. So yeah, but while I'm at it, put this down for 1 quick second. But yeah, here is the last weapon it comes with for, well, the strike, but of course any other mobile suit you want. And this is this really cool axe type, well, spear, I guess, more or less in this case, because all you got to do is separate the staff like that, flip it around like such. There's the primary base. Now, you're supposed to be able to flip this up to, of course, form a blade, but as you guys can see, mine doesn't want to, only because the small peg that's right here, honestly, it should have just popped right in, but mine doesn't, and I'm sure it's not just going to be mine, so I would recommend modding that part, of course, to fit it in, but luckily, you don't technically have to, because it comes with a really cool and sharp beam effect that, with one... wait till pegging, you get that. And honestly, I like the beam version a little more because it's not just a blade, it's a really sharp looking beam effect that, of course, you can shank all your opponents with, and it's really nice. So yeah, I like that part really much. Now, if you guys give me 1 second. And here you guys go. The last formation you can do with the kit as is, and that is, of course, the pod deployed weapons, or I believe it's like a pod machine gun setup. However, but yeah, this is pretty much the primary pose you're going to probably want this kit in, because as you can see, you can move the pods all around to do a multi-angle shooting position, which is really cool. I like that part. I mean, yes, minus the fact you can't separate them, you know, that's a bummer, but hell, I mean, I'm just glad we got ourselves a Mobius Zero finally, and Master Grade scale, of course. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And since we got this right here, I'll do a little size comparison for you guys. But since we are doing it on a mobile armor, I figured I better do it with some fellow armors. One example being the Obsolist #2. Yeah, big difference, right? And just because I had it on my shelf, Stealth Gao 2. So yeah, I figured simple and easy. And oh, before I forget, do you get any leftover parts from this kit? Yes, you do. When you're using the bazooka setup for the guns, you will need to take off this small part that is attached to the gun portion. So there's that. And let's see. Oh, the good thing about those little fin parts, as I showed you at the beginning, you do get extras, guys. So don't worry. If you do lose a couple, you do come with extras. See? So in case you mess up. Because these things are very small, and that's one detail I must mention right now. Like the gun barrels right here, the tips of them are all separate parts. But that's a good thing, but a minor bad thing, because of how small they are, you can lose them very easily. So I would recommend, of course, keeping something next to you that you can put them in, so you don't. But other than that, you do get this one last part, this shield attachment, I believe it was, that what you can do is you can take the barrel of the Mobius here, the big one, and you can attach it onto, I believe, the Strike or any other seed-based shields with it, because it has the peg connections for this. So yeah, other than that, that's it. So my final thoughts on the Zero. I do love the fact we have an MG size of it, because the only other known version is the older 144 scale version that Bandai produced, but that's in the old EX line, which from what I recall now is, well, doesn't get printed too much anymore, and if does, I believe are more or less Gundam based exclusives. So yeah. But yeah, but it is cool we have an MG version, and with all the extra weapons and functions we can do with it. So yeah, minus all the details I mentioned with the modding and gluing, would I recommend this, guys? Honestly, yes. I could recommend it in one reason, because besides it being, of course, the Mobius Zero, it's not truly a bad kit, guys. I mean, I have built a number of third-party kits and such that were way worse and that have fallen apart on me. And even though, yes, it does require some gluing here and there, honestly, I've had it out, and nothing, really nothing bad has fallen off it, nothing to worry about. So yeah, so minus the few details that most builders have, dealt with before with past kits, yeah, I mean, it's really not too bad. So I can recommend it, guys. Just though, like in the description, I will be posting in the video here, and on, of course, if you do get it from Gundam Model Center, I do definitely recommend you keep some glue, cement, and some sanding equipment nearby when you are working on this kit. This way, you're ready for the minor stuff, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I thank you guys for coming. Always glad for your supports. Uh, Hope you're all enjoying your hobby, of course. And I'll see you later on, guys.